Hello, welcome back to Regulatory Affairs 101. I am Nancy. In today's mini session, we are walking through how to conduct a gap assessment of required IND components, a critical step before submitting an investigational new drug application. A high-quality IND submission is built on a well-executed gap assessment. We are looking at three major components: CMC, non-clinical, and clinical. Each one must be complete, consistent, and aligned with FDA expectations before submission. Let's start with CMC. For the drug substance, confirm that the manufacturing process is clearly described, that characterization data support identity, purity, and potency, and that stability data justify the proposed shelf life. For drug product, check that formulation and manufacturing controls are defined, release specifications are scientifically justified, and the container closure systems are adequately described and qualified. These elements ensure the product can be manufactured consistently and safely. Next, review manufacturing controls. Are GMP-aligned controls in place for early phase manufacturing? Have you identified critical process parameters and in-process controls? And are your stability protocols appropriate for phase 1? Common CMC gaps include missing stability data, incomplete process descriptions, insufficient analytical validation, and lack of justification for specification. These are some of the most frequent reasons FDA asks follow-up questions. Moving to non-clinical, for pharmacology, confirm that primary studies are complete and relevant to the indication, and that secondary or off-target pharmacology has been addressed. For toxicology, ensure GLP studies align with the proposed clinical dose, route, and duration. Safety pharmacology should meet ICH M3R2 expectations, and reproductive or genotoxicity studies should be included when appropriate for the development stage. Next, evaluate study design and interpretation. Are species selection and exposure margins justified? Do toxicokinetic data support the human starting dose? And are findings clearly linked to risk mitigation strategies? Common gaps include missing safety pharmacology endpoints, insufficient exposure margins, incomplete TK characterization, and weak justification for the starting dose. Now let's look at the clinical component. Your phase 1 protocol should be scientifically justified and consistent with non-clinical data. Check that inclusion and exclusion criteria support participant safety, and that dose escalation rules, stopping rules, and safety monitoring are clearly defined. Endpoints should be appropriate for early phase development. For investigator information, confirm that qualifications are complete and current, that sites have the capability to monitor early phase safety, and that financial disclosure forms are included. Supporting documentation, especially the investigator's brochure, must be complete and aligned with both CMC and non-clinical data. Risk mitigation strategies should be clearly described and consistent across all sections. Common clinical gaps include unclear dose escalation schemas, incomplete safety monitoring plans, misalignment between non-clinical data and the clinical starting dose, and missing investigator CVs or financial disclosures. These issues can delay FDA review, so catching them early is essential. All of these expectations come directly from FDA and ICH sources, including 21 CFR Part 312, the FDA's Phase 1 IND Guidance, FDA IND Application Resources, and ICH M3R2. These references form the backbone of a compliant and complete IND submission. Thanks for joining this quick walkthrough of the IND Gap Assessment process. If you found this helpful, follow along for more Regulatory Affairs 101 content, and stay tuned for the next part of the IND mini-series. Have a wonderful day.